strategy that's going to keep you focused and guide you in your endeavors so that you can really be successful. While I know exactly what to do when I feel like I'm veering off course, most people are not skilled in the art of course correction. And so, like I said, by January 15th, most people have left the gym, given up on the diet. They've gone back to being a couch potato and binge watching Netflix for 5 hours and hanging out with the same Humpty Dumpty and Bumpty that aren't going anywhere with their lives. And they tell themselves now that 2026 will be their year and 2027 will be their year. And what they don't realize, you've been saying this for 15 years, and your life is no different today than it was 15 years ago. It's not an issue of time, it's not an issue of opportunity, it's not an issue of tools, it's an issue of that these things are not really a priority in your life, and you have not honed your focus to get you from where you are to the life that you truly want to live. And while the first 3 months of this year are quickly ending, the reality is that you still have time to refocus, reposition, and realize your dreams. And so, what I want to do for the next few weeks through this podcast and through this series, I want to be the person to repeat in your ear that you still have the time to refocus, reposition, and realize your dreams. And so, for the next few moments, if you will allow me, I want to talk with you around a new topic called Further, the Power of Strategic Focus. Further, the Power of Strategic Focus, because this is going to be a key for you this year. Uh, when the adrenaline stops, when the excitement and the enthusiasm goes away, when you no longer have the euphoric feeling, you're going to have the ability to refocus, reposition, and realize your dreams. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that the problem is not about how much time you have. The real problem is found in the answer to one question: how truthful are you willing to be with yourself? I wrote a book, and it was one of the very first books I ever wrote called Soul Journey: Empowering the Soul for Exceptional Success. It's still one of my favorite books. And it was a workbook around the soul and development. And I've heard so many stories from all around the world, from people that have gotten that book, they have done the work, and they have shared with me how those insights have revolutionized their lives. But let me tell you what brought about that book. I found myself years ago feeling very stuck, very frustrated, very dissatisfied with my life. And, you're trying to figure out, why is your life not working? What seems to be broken about your life? And one day I was praying, as I often do, and I heard this question, and I wrote the question down, and it just revolutionized my life. And the question was this: Jamel, what could your life look like if you really got out of your own way? And, my first thought was, well, how am I in my own way? And then the second thought became, so I must be in my own way. What do I need to do about it? And what happened is I started to write, and I wrote that book, Soul Journey. And it has helped so many people to do the healing work that is so important in their lives. And that book is really a book about how to get out of your own way and how to live the life that you were born to live. And as I just said, how truthful are you willing to be with yourself? Can you be honest enough with yourself to state emphatically, for the record, that maybe you are the stumbling block that is standing between you and the life you were born for? Just possibly, maybe you are the enemy to your own growth and development and progress in life. See, so many people want to play the role of the victim. They want to tell their sad story. They want to say, woe is me. They want everybody to have pity and sympathy for them. But at the end of the day, none of that is going to change your life or your destiny. What is going to change your life is when we start to ask these very introspective questions, and we really begin to be honest with ourselves and honest with where we are in our journey, so that we can become the best version of ourselves. Can I ask you an honest question? If you are not happy with the direction of your life right now, have you owned up to the fact that your decisions have brought you here? See, as somebody that mentors people all around the world, and I mentor some very high level and successful individuals as well. And this is a problem we all have. It doesn't matter what stage of life we're in or socioeconomic class. This is a question that nobody really wants to answer. But the question is, um, can you see a thread and a theme that your choices, your decisions have brought you to where you are in your life? And, it takes a very mature person to say, I can see that, because a lot of people, when you ask them that, they push back against you and they say, no, it's not. It's this person's fault. It's this system's fault. It's this event in my life. It's this crisis. It's this trial. It's this obstacle. It's why my life the way it is. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that you're the captain of the ship. The ship. You are the author of your own future. You are the master of your own fate, and it's not in the circumstances. It's not in the situations. I think that this is one of the reasons that the work I do in the method of empowerment rubs some people the wrong way, because we have a lot of people out here that are just telling people a bunch of crap, and they're telling them think positive thoughts, speak positive words. Your life is just going to be great. Um, they're not going to go through anything. They're not going to have any adversity. It's just not a reality. I mean, it sounds good. It feels good. It's very inspirational. But I'm talking about an empowered life. And if you're going to live an empowered life, you're going to have resistance. You're going to have crises and challenges and contradictions and things that are going to show up in your life that don't necessarily make sense to you, but you're going to have to be able to make sense out of it. And you're going to have the ability to use all of it to get to the next level and to become who you were created and destined to be. If you feel like life has been unfair, is it really that you have been dealt a bad hand, or that you have not made the most of the hand that you've been given? See, to answer these type of questions, you got to be a mature person, because a victim is not going to uh, be able to answer these type of questions. They're going to get in denial. They're going to walk away. They're going to play the blame game of why somebody else or something else is the reason that they aren't further along in their lives. But honestly, we can make all kinds of excuses, but someone was dealt a hand, worse hand than you, and they are winning and living their dreams. So we often lie to ourselves and we tell ourselves that we're the exception to the rule. We're the only one. Nobody else has gone through anything, or they haven't gone through anything nearly as horrific or tragic as we have. And then we talk to our neighbor and we find out that their life was 10 and 20 times worse than ours. And they have found a way to overcome and to persevere and to progress. And it brings me back to a question: what's wrong with you? What's going on in your life, and why are you not making the progress that you want to see? And it really brings me to another important question. Why is it that some win and others lose? I think we have to ask this question because we live in a society that wants to reward every person for participation, but we want to overlook the level of discipline and work that goes into creating success. And that's the danger in this trophy generation that gives everybody a trophy because they're on the team, but not realizing how each individual contribution helps the team to achieve that goal. And so, you can get something by default, but if you don't develop in the process, you'll never understand the value of it, and you'll never become the person that you were born to be. Is it that life plays favorites and rewards some while punishing others? While you may not admit it, I'm sure you've grappled with these questions at one time or another in your life. It is this grappling that leads to growth, development, and ultimately mastery. I tell people all the time, you don't have to feel bad because you start to ask certain questions about your life or certain questions about what's happening in your life. But what's supposed to happen in that process of grappling is it's supposed to bring you to this place of growth, development, and mastery in your life. One of the most important questions I ever asked myself was this, And the question was, why am I not further in my life? I'm sure you've asked yourself that.